Snaptain A10 is an inexpensive, fun way to get into flying drones as a hobby if you just want to try it out without spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. Not everyone has a couple of $1,000s to drop to buy a drone if you have a passing interest in the hobby. However, the Snaptain A10 is the perfect answer for both adults and children to dabble at entry level without breaking the bank. It retails on Snaptain's website for $50 US, and it's a surprisingly robust and fully featured drone for the price. In the box is the drone itself folded into travel configuration. Simply pulling the arms out places them in a soft lock position. The drone also comes with a controller with 2 batteries for the drone. Once the rotor arms are extended, you have the option to add some simple plastic bumpers that help protect the blades from inevitable crashes. Charging the batteries is managed through a bespoke USB-A cable that ends in a small power jack. It's recommended in the manual not to use a USB port on a computer to charge the batteries, so a power block is needed. In the box you'll also find spare rotor blades to replace any damaged ones and a handy screwdriver. The A10 sits comfortably in the palm of an adult hand. The folding arms do make it more portable along with the loose, non-fixed propellers. However, the bumpers protecting the rotors are a little fiddly to put on and take off, which means it's not a device you can simply store in a bag without some additional effort. Each of the 2 rechargeable batteries gives you about 5 minutes of flight time, and the A10 can reach some impressively fun speeds. The main way to control the A10 is via the controller that closely resembles one you'd get with a console, although there's also the option to use your phone, which I cover later. The buttons are split into 1-button functions on the left and buttons on the right to adjust the trim of the drone to refine its flight. The shoulder buttons are used to cycle through 3 settings to control the speed of the drone, and also a function that makes the drone flip over in mid-flight. The triggers are reserved for taking photos or videos when the A10 is connected to your phone via the Snaptain's app, as you'll see later in this video. The A10 features 3 different ways to take off. You can manually launch it after syncing it, press a button, or the most fun way is to launch it from your hand. The accelerometers in the drone sense the sudden weightlessness and kickstart the motors to fly. There are also 3 speed settings for speed via the shoulder button. Flight time will be reduced the faster the drone is flying, so it's worth making a note of depending on how long you want your session to last. There's a headless mode too, which can be fun for novice flyers, or you can use it for stable flying while you're trying to operate the app. Headless mode transfers control of the drone to the right stick for a lateral flight, either facing you or facing away. The A10 controls also include some trick maneuvers accessible via the press of a button, just for fun. These include the ability to do a 360 flip and another mode where you can have the drone perform a tight circle. Finally, the A10 also has a dedicated button to enable the drone to return to the starting point of its flight path. One thing during my test was that it will take a moderate amount of knocks and still keep working. You can safely crash at normal speeds and heights into objects without irreparably damaging the drone. Plus, getting tangled in plants and things like our kids' trampoline mesh didn't break the blades. Overall, it's a pretty robust machine that should give pilots of any ability comfort that they aren't going to destroy their new toy within minutes of using it. The A10 also gives you the ability to use the official app for both controls and also to utilise the onboard 720p camera for video and pictures. Setup is a bit of a pain. Like similar app-based functionality on other drones, you have to connect directly to the drone by selecting it like you would a Wi-Fi network. The app then relays the camera signal so you can use your phone as a monitor. The controller has a built-in bracket you can unfold and attach your phone to use as a video monitor. The camera itself is only 720p, which is quite low resolution by today's standards, even for cheap phones and webcams, so it's a little disappointing. You might be able to get the best out of it with some very creative video shoots, but otherwise the quality is perfunctory at best. The app can also turn your phone into a controller. The right and left sticks are replaced with a virtual interface on the screen. Other functions, such as a pre-programmed stunts, are transposed to virtual buttons in the user interface. Interestingly, the app does come with some additional features that are exclusive when using your phone. The first is the ability to use your phone's accelerometers to control the drone. The G-Sensor mode, as it's called, enables you to manipulate your whole phone to control the A10's flight. Once activated, you can tip, dip and twist your phone with your movements being translated into instructions for the drone to follow. The A10 app also includes voice control via your phone's microphone. You have access to some limited controls with 6 commands to take off, land, move left and move right, forward and backwards. It's pretty tricky to get right and is really only a gimmick. Finally, the A10 also includes a VR mode, but at the time of testing I was unable to try it. Mysteriously, there is no additional documentation on the equipment needed, so I reached out to Snaptain's customer support for more help. Ultimately, the A10 is a toy, suitable for big kids and little kids alike. It's a lot of fun to fly, being responsive with around 5 minutes of flight time per charged battery. You do get a fair amount of fun out of it. It's very robust, and with my A10 having had a few knocks already, and the only thing to break was a propeller bumper thus far. However, enthusiasts looking for something with more photography and videography features will be disappointed with a low resolution camera and intermittent signal from the drone. When it comes to flight, it's best to fly the A10 inside and in an enclosed environment without strong winds. Flying outside in anything more than a light breeze is frustrating, and the drone isn't powerful enough to offset being blown around. Another detractor is the remote control via the app, which is not as responsive as using the included controller. It has much less responsive depth of control when turning and steering. Finally, voice control really is only a gimmick with limited use. It's fun to play with briefly, but you won't be using it for any length of time. Thank you for watching, and as ever, it would be great if you were to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content on personal technology and the connected home.